All right, number 2, show respect for the other person's opinion. Never say you're wrong. We could just put this down right now. Because where I come from, you're wrong. Hello, my name is ShaneidaMonique, and today I'm going to do a book review on a book written by Dale Carnegie, which is called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now, the funny thing about this book is that, first of all, it's super old. I'm really not sure off the top of my head what the copyright date was, but this book is like, oh, I don't know if it was like in the 60s or 70s, or it's somewhere along those lines. But this is like one of those old school books that is just relevant today. You know, certain people and you know, of cultures that actually study this, and I think that like it's like one of those like old school books like Napoleon Hill. It's kind of like got that same genre to it. And how I came across the book is that, you know, I'm familiar with, like, you know, some of Dale Carnegie's work, and then you know, Napoleon Hill, because I've read his books as well. And so what happened was, I think that I was looking over a school's college book list, because sometimes I do that. Sometimes I go on to like other schools and I look to see what books are required readings, and you know, and just nitpick from there and see if that's what I want to read. And I came across this book that was assigned in a psychology class, and I just thought to myself like, let me take a look at this. Let me see what this book actually entails. And the funny thing is that I was having a good conversation with one of my homegirls. She came to visit me or whatever, and we were just like discussing books, and this particular book came up, and I was telling her, like, you know, what's written in the book about what it says on how to, you know, win friends and how to influence people. And it was so funny because a lot of what the book says contradicts how, in fact, we were raised and how we, you know, how we interact with people, how we grew up. I was kind of like thinking to myself like, this is very interesting in a sense of, if you have, you know, a certain group of people that this is what they're living by, and this is like the natural standard for them to operate in this kind of in this mentality, actually literally studying how to win and influence people, and you're not. Now it's broken up into 4 parts, but I'm only going to discuss 2 parts, which is what I found to be most contradicting to my life. All right. So the first is well, actually we could go to part 1. So part 1 is going to be how to win friends and influence people. Number 1, techniques in handling people, right? We can all learn techniques in how to deal with people better, right? All right, so number 1, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Well, I mean, I get it that you know, you shouldn't just criticize people, but you know, I guess helpful criticism is always good, because then how, if everybody is just telling you what a great job you're doing and nobody's telling you what you're doing wrong, or you're just oblivious to it, like how are you going to improve? How are you going to get better? You know what I'm saying? Like, so but I understand condemn, you know, just talking, just randomly just talking down to somebody, I get it. Or complaint. I mean, I'm Black, so we grew up on complaints. That complaint in certain areas is just regular conversation. You know, you go, you ask your grandma how she doing, and she's just like, well, you know, and you just know where the conversation going. All right, Dart. So number 2, give honest, sincere appreciation. Now, I do agree with that. I do agree with giving people honest and sincere appreciation, and just letting them know like that they're just, you know, a really good person and doing really good, and you're proud of them. I do subscribe to that. Number 3, arouse in a person an eager want. Now, that is going to be tough. So what the book explains it to be, you create a want in the person, like, and I think that it's kind of sort of manipulative too as well. Like you create a want in the person to want to help you, and you disguise, you know, whatever it is that you want in a way that the person is actually eager to help you with whatever task. I watch other people do this because I guess it's easier for me to sit outside of the box and watch other people's interactions. So I have seen somebody actually make another person want to help them, and they had no idea that they were actually being manipulated into wanting to help them. But then again, it's like, you know, at the end of the day, like you help somebody because you want to, right? All right, so part 2, 6 ways to make people like you. Let's hear this. Number 1, become genuinely interested in other people. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. You genuinely interested. So interested in wanting to get to know you, wanting to know what your life is about, and engage with you. Yeah. I think that that's a good quality, right? Number 2, smile. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I agree. You know, somebody smiles at you, you will naturally smile back at them. I get it. All right, number 3, remember a person's name is the most important and sweetest sound to them. Actually, I'm paraphrasing in here. It's not word for word, all right, but basically saying that when you meet people, they love to hear their names. I'm sure that's the case for some people. Not necessarily me. Number 4, be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Now, in the book, he explains it in a way of when you sit there and you're just quiet and you're letting the other person kind of talk about themselves, talk about their interests and just sit there and listen. Like, he's saying that person doesn't actually realize that they're just talking about themselves. They think that in their minds that they're actually engaged in a conversation with you, and in turn, I think subconsciously makes them like you because you're just sitting in there listening to them. They probably don't have people to just sit there and listen. Yeah, so just be a good listener. Now, yes, I agree that you should be a good listener. You should be an active listener when somebody's talking to you. I don't know. It seems a little manipulative too. Like, I can understand we're having a conversation. I'm genuinely interested in what you have to say and genuinely interested in what you're talking about, as opposed to like, it's like it's a boss and I'm just sitting there listening to him because he's my boss and I want him to like me. So I'm just sitting there like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh really, oh okay, oh all right. Like, I feel like where we come from, how I grew up, those are called like the yes men. You just a yes man. Like, you just, whatever I say is like yes. Oh, really great, yes. Like, so. All right, number 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. Again, that goes with the number 4. Just, yeah, I want to talk about what you want to talk about. All right, number 6. Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. I guess if this is a self-absorbed narcissistic person, they're really going to enjoy talking about themselves, and they're not even going to realize that they never asked you anything about yourself. Like, so I feel like this probably works on real good on on highly self-absorbed people. Maybe that's what the book written for. How to deal with highly self-absorbed people. Yeah. All right, so this part is going to be how to win people to your way of thinking. All right, so number 1 is the only way to win an argument is to avoid it. Now, I do agree with that. I do like that, just to avoid arguments and everything all together. Now, he does go into the book and gives you examples for each one, and tells you stories and how it played out for the person. But yeah, I think avoiding arguments is pretty, it's pretty understandable, but don't let nobody walk all over you. We don't do that either, okay? All right, number 2. Show respect for the other person's opinion. Never say you're wrong. We could just put this down right now. Because where I come from, you're wrong. You know you was wrong for that, right? Girl, you know you're wrong. No, you're wrong. Like, we say that on a regular basis. We say you're wrong more than we say you're right. Well, like, really? Okay. All right, number 3. If you are wrong, admit it quickly. That depends on how long it takes you to realize that you're wrong. All right, number 4. Begin in a friendly way. So beginning in a friendly way is described in a book as if you have a problem with someone, or you have to give them criticism, then you start in a nice and polite way. I think that professionally we do this all the time, is that if we're about to, reprimand somebody, or, whatever the case is, we're like, well, you did such and such right, or such and such right, but this is how you can improve. So I get it. Start beginning in a friendly way. But you know what? A lot of times, we don't really have patience to begin in a friendly way. We just want to spit it out and be like, yo, listen, check it, dude, such and such, such and such, okay? And it depends on, like, your circle and where you work and whatever. Now, a lot of places is more militant, where you could just cut to the chase. But if you're in the corporate world, then yeah, by all means. But I feel like everybody in the corporate world is studying this stuff. They're studying how to win friends and influence people. They're studying 48 Laws of Power. They're studying Napoleon Hill. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole other game. All right, next one. Where was I? Number 5. Get the other person saying yes, yes, yes immediately. Okay. So this is also, I believe that this is also super manipulative. In the book, he explains it as, if there's something that you want from the other person, before they actually say no, get them to say yes. That by them saying yes, 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 they become more agreeable subconsciously to whatever suggestion that you're going to, I guess, lay on them later on. All right. And he gives examples of this in the book. Like, this is something like, all right, you have like a kid and a parent, and the kid would say to the mom, oh, don't you think that I'm a really good kid? And she would say, yes, you are. Oh, don't you love me? Do you love me, Mom? Oh, yes, I do. And then he says, well, can I go outside? That's using it in a metaphor. It's probably a horrible example, but hey. All right, next one. Number 6. Let the other person do most of the talking. Again, this goes back to the other one. You just want people just talking about themselves. Let the other person feel the idea is his or hers. Now, that right there, I don't know. I don't know if there's people out there that could do work and let another person take the credit for it, or let another person feel like that was his or her idea. Like, granted you're taking a back seat, and it's kind of big of you, but I don't know if a lot of people could do that. All right, number 8. Try honestly seeing the other person's perspective. I get that. You always want to put yourself in another person's shoes. Helps you to understand where they're coming from a little bit more. All right, number 9, be sympathetic to the other person's idea and desires. I agree. Number 10, appeal to their nobler motives. Now, nobler motives, I feel like that's a little manipulative. Like, I'm not even going to give you an example of that. Like, all right. Number 11, dramatize your ideas. And number 12, introduce a challenge. So that is, basically each one that I've named, like, there's stories to back it up. It's like chapters and things of that nature. But, it's just, I look at it and I read these books and I'm like, yo, there's somebody really out there studying this, like, and putting this into, into play. Same thing like with 48 Laws of Power. Like, there are actually people that's studying how to manipulate other people, and yeah, like, it's crazy. I'm not even on this, but I watch it. I sit outside and I watch, and I'm like, wow, they're really good at that. You know what I'm saying? That's why you gotta stay prayed up, because you know what I mean? But yeah. All right, so I hope you like this book review. I know that this is not like a regular book reviews, but then I don't do regular book reviews. You know what I'm saying? So Anyway, so yeah, hope that this was helpful, and I will chat with you soon. Bye!